Aha. How are you, man?
How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Thank you very much. Not bad at all. All good?
Yeah, really good.
Lovely. So, how's lockdown treating you, man?
Yeah, good. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. It doesn't bother me, especially this time of year. It doesn't really bother me. So
Yeah, I can kind of get on that. It's not. I feel like if it was to be like last year, where we had quite a decent spell of weather, that sort of thing, I think we'd be feeling maybe a little bit different about it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm lucky where I've got a home gym in the garage and a net in the garden and stuff, so I can keep busy and doesn't affect me too much, really.
That's handy, definitely. And talk to me about a little bit about your beginnings in golf.
So yeah, I started playing through my golf through my dad. So he's played a lot of his life. He ran a golf society, played off single figures, and then he took me up the range. It wasn't until I was 13 I started playing. As I've said in other ones, he's left-handed, plays golf left-handed. I'm right-handed. And it's only that I started playing left-handed through using his clubs, and they felt comfortable. So yeah, that's where it started, really.
Oh right, okay, that's interesting. Did you try righty?
Yeah, I think I did. I think the first few times I went to the driving range, I did. I can't remember if I ever played on the course right-handed.
Right, okay.
I can still play a bit now right-handed. And I've always wanted to do it through the winter, like a project to get a handicap, but.
I did see one of your posts, I think, from last summer of you hitting a couple of shots right-handed. That was funny.
Yeah.
So, talk to me a little bit about your sort of the best and sort of worst things about playing golf for a living. Sort of, the relevant tours, that sort of thing. Talk to me. Let's start with the good stuff. Talk to me a little bit about sort of some of the best things about it.
I think it's just the fact, you get to do something you love with the potential to make a bit of money as well. So to be able to treat it like a job as such. I think that's the best thing, really.
Absolutely. What about maybe some not so good bits? What sort of bits that you wish that you could change?
I think it's just the time away from home. I mean, obviously, I've got a young family. We've got a 4-year-old little girl and a 1-year-old boy. And I think sometimes it's nice to be able to get away, but then it leaves a lot of hard work for my girlfriend, which isn't ideal. She has to do a lot of things on her own when I'm not here, which she does anyway when I am here, I guess. But you do miss him when you're away, definitely.
Well, so how sort of long would you be away at a time? Normal. I mean, obviously the last year's been a little bit different, events being cancelled, that sort of stuff. But sort of pre-COVID, sort of how long would you have been away? Obviously, you would only have had one child at that time.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I was playing Euro Pro, that's sort of 3 nights away, up to 4 nights away. Jamaica stuff, sort of a couple of nights away. If I was caddying, I was away. Sometimes I was away for 2 weeks.
Right.
And then that's a big reason why I started doing my PGA thing. Really, it was just there's a lot more local tournaments. It's not expensive to play, and I've just sorted out sort of a rough schedule for this year, and I can stay at home for probably 95% of the tournament. So it's it's nice to be able to be home more.
And so tell the people watching who you would have caddied for. You caddied an event not too long ago, am I right?
Yeah, I caddied for Ben Evans. So I did 10 events with him. It was originally only going to be one event, but we had a good week. So, I stayed on, and I've done the odd ones on and off here and there. So he's one of my best mates. So I was doing it more as a mate. And then
nice.
we had a few good weeks. So, yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about how that sort of works. Is he says, look, Bud, I'm a man light this week. I need someone on the bag. Are you about? Do you go, yeah, so here's my fees. This is what I want for the week. If you win, I want 10%, or all that sort of stuff, or is it do you kind of go a little bit loosely and go, I'll kind of help out, etc., etc. How does that arrangement all sort of work?
I think the first week we did it. So he's always had his dad on his bag most of his career, and he's had other guys as well. And I think he just wanted a break, maybe something different, or his dad couldn't do the week. I don't know, and just said, "Do you fancy doing it?" Happened to be that I could do it that week. We agreed on a percentage. He paid my expenses. He made 90 grand the first week. He came third.
Happy days.
So yeah, he kept me on, and then we changed sort of how we worked on a percentage and things a little bit. But no, he always covered my expenses, and yeah, I loved it, to be honest. It was good fun. It was a good experience, good learning curve. So
whereabouts were the events?
Denmark, we did. That was the first week. Trying to think, Valderrama, the Dunhill Links, so St Andrews, Carnoustie, Kings Barnes, wow. And then I did Amman and Qatar. Trying to think where else I went. The Shot Clock Masters, that was good. Austria.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, we went, and then I also did Celtic Manor last year, and then also the English Open. So.
Oh, brilliant! What was your favourite place to visit out of those?
I think St Andrews was probably the most special in a way. Just driving when you drive through the town.
Had you been there before?
No, never been there before.
Right. Okay.
So I was out for a meal with my family at the time, and then he called to say he'd got in the Dunhill Links, and that was it. I couldn't wait. I think it was a couple of weeks before he got an invite to the tournament through a friend. And then either that or Valderrama. Valderrama was like Augusta to me. It was special, really.
I'd love to go to Valderrama. Valderrama's been like the PGA do pro-ams there, like pretty much.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
and it's always been one of those. I'm like, I'd love to try and get a team for, but it'll always be a little bit difficult. And so it's one that I've always kind of just said, yeah, it'd be great, but yeah, man, it's definitely one.
It's hard, isn't it, to get teams together? It's difficult because they're so expensive.
Yeah. But some of them are like, some of them are decent value. I feel like some of them, I don't know pricing off the top of my head, but I feel like I've looked in the past and gone, that's not too expensive to play. Yeah. Like Valderrama. Valderrama's like however many hundreds of euros to play.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure how private it is as well. I don't know how easy it is to be able to get a tee time even if you've got the money. I don't know how that works really. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely been one on the list. So moving on a little bit, obviously. Here on my channel, we talk a little bit about golf fashion. I know that we've had many a discussion in the direct messages over the years of different shoes, that sort of stuff. Has the fashion side of things always been something that's maybe been on your mind when you play? Has over the years has it changed? Talk to me a little bit about that. Have you always just gone, whatever goes, I'll try and make those colours go and then get on with it?
So I think my girlfriend will back me up on this, that I am the woman in the relationship. When it comes to, if we go out shopping, clothes shopping, I'm the one that's trying things on 20 times. I'm really conscious how things fit and whatever. But at the same time, I'm someone, I don't like to wear clothing that really stands out. I'm not someone that wears really bright colours and, I'm quite into, dark and navy and whatever. Just, I don't like standing out too much, I guess. But yeah, I've always been conscious of, I'm not someone that has to wear the top high brands or whatever. Mm-hmm. But as long as it fits well and I feel comfortable in it, I believe in, feel good, play good, whatever the saying is. But I think that is a big thing.
Absolutely. What are some of the go-to colours for you then? If you don't like sort of too out there, you don't want to go too bright, what would you sort of typically like to go with?
I put my foot jewelry, I've got my foot jewelry order hopefully coming soon. And I looked through it again the other day to see what I'd ordered. And it's definitely fair to say it's blue. I think pretty much everything I've ordered is either blue or black. So
just see, like navy for me, man. My wardrobe is so many blues, so many whites, so many navies. Some of it it's one of those things that colours are great, and in my opinion, I know people say that like colours go out of fashion and in fashion, but for me, like a great colour is a great colour. I don't care whether or not it's like been done 3 years ago. If there's like a really nice orange or something like that, then I don't care whether it was 3 years ago.
I've seen you like a bit of orange, yeah.
I love orange, man. Orange is just, for me, I love it. I don't actually have too many orange pieces, surprisingly, because it's a pretty tricky colour to rock on the golf course. But yeah, for me, like if it's a colour that's great, then it's timeless. It doesn't go in and out of fashion. Like the products that it's on, right, but not the colours. So yes, your FootJoy. FootJoy Europe have just put down in the comments there that tell Michael it's on the way. I don't know if you can see that there. But,
I've been like
yeah, there you go. It's
at
coming.
Christmas for the last few weeks, thinking when's it going to come? And every day the DPD drive past, and it doesn't stop. A little tear goes in my eye. So.
I know those feelings for sure. I know those feelings. So, talk to me about your relationship with FootJoy. How did that sort of come about?
So yeah, through Instagram really. So they messaged me to say about I was at Centre Parks at the time. So lovely. I was previously with Par 73 Apparel, who were a startup, very good, good quality stuff. I was really happy with that. And then when I got the message from FootJoy asking if I'd be interested in being an ambassador, I mean, it was a no-brainer really. To me in golf, I don't feel like there's another brand that really does everything head to toe. The number one shoe in golf for 75 years and whatever, and they just do everything: trousers, jumpers, waterproofs, gloves. They've got links with FootJoy, with Titleist, and things, who have been able to do some help here and there. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. It was a massive moment for me really when they offered that, and
that's got to be
turn it down.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting to just sort of go into your DMs. You see the little number one on it might be 7 or 8 for you, I don't know, but for me it's the odd little one in covered in red there in the top corner.
Yeah,
and it's like, you open it up and you're like, oh, FootJoy, nice, okay. Yeah. And then to read that must have been very, very cool. How do they sort of look after you when you say you're looking forward to this box arriving? What would sort of be in that box typically?
So they give me like an allocation of things that I can have. So last year it worked on like a budget. This year they're pretty flexible. So I know I've ordered, well, there's quite a lot of stuff coming. So, but it's a case that they give me a catalogue, and it's a case of I can choose from it. So there's nothing. Some brands I think would like to give you things to wear, but I think ultimately, if they give you stuff that you're not comfortable wearing, it doesn't really work too well. So I like it that FootJoy give you the option for you to pick what you want, and everything is your own choice: shoes, clothing, everything. So you just feel more comfortable with picking. You've picked the stuff, so you're comfortable in it.
What were some of your favourite pieces you wore last year from them?
Trying to think what there was last year.
The chill out's a classic. I mean, the chill out top is one that I think I remember when it first came out, and I remember there being a white with orange, surprise, orange accents to it.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking that was quite cool. But it was one of those ones where it was sort of the first time in golf you started to get the zip neck type tops rather than it all being V-neck or round neck. Yeah. I feel like it's the first time that they sort of brought that garment out. What were you? So yeah, sorry, I jumped in front of you there. What was some of the bits that you were wearing last year that you liked?
I think the big thing for me was the hydro knit, the jacket. Something I've always hated is when you play in the rain. I've always had jackets that just restrict you. You don't feel like, no matter what size you get with it just doesn't feel right. And then the hydro knit one, as soon as I put it on, it was, it was more like a jumper than a waterproof. So that was a big thing. If you're playing a tournament in bad weather, I don't have to worry about it anymore. That's a big thing. So.
Yeah, it's a piece I never even got to look at last year. Actually, the hydro knit. It's always been something that I've wanted to check out. But for me, a lot of mine sort of say products I'm exposed to are what we stock in the shop that I work in, and so being a FootJoy stock is we have always had their pieces in during the years. And so that was one piece that we didn't, for some reason. I don't know why we didn't get it, but we didn't get that bit in. But that's something I've definitely been wanting to look at because I've heard a lot of good things.
I think it's nice they've started doing some different stuff as well, haven't they? I think in the past they were always quite simple and everything they've made was very straightforward as such. Whereas now, like you've got like the camo prints they're coming in with, and then there was the stuff with like the birds on and things last year, which I really liked. So
the camo print. Yeah, the camo print is really good for this year. Yeah. I really do like those pieces. They look. I'm glad they didn't do it on just a sort of a plain normal chill out. I like the fact that they. I think the garment's got buttons, doesn't it? That had the camos on. I think from memory.
I know it's just on the sleeves, isn't it? I think the jumper. I know.
Yeah, but it's just it's more. It's like a high neck, but it doesn't have a zip. I think it's got buttons. I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I might be completely wrong. I might be envisioning something else. But yeah, those pieces are great. The camo on the sleeves is really, really nice. Talk to me a little bit about shoes. What sort of shoes? What were you finding that you were wearing a lot last year, and what are you looking forward to this year?
So I wore the Tour X most of last year, just because it was so comfortable. Just straight out of the box, I could wear it, and it just felt really good. And then I've also got a pair of the Carbon Pro SLs.
Yeah.
I had a black pair of them, which were, again, they're really comfortable as well, and they probably feel a lot more stable than the Tour X for me. So I've got a couple of pairs of them coming, hopefully the next couple of days, and then the Premier Series as well. So that's probably the big one for FootJoy this year, isn't it?
That's the big one for the golf world this year, as far as I'm concerned. I didn't actually realise. I said I was watching something back the other day. I said in my video that, and I did a video with Golf Guy Reviews on his YouTube channel, and we did a bit of a golf shoe battle, based on sort of the sneaker battles that various other YouTubers have done, and so. First shoe is the one you're going to be wearing if you were to play the final round of the Masters at Augusta. Which shoe would you be wearing? And I said I used the FootJoy Icon because it's my favourite shoe of all time.
Yeah.
And I said in the video that it was released in sort of 2014, 15. Recently, actually 2011.
Really?
2011, the FootJoy Icon came out. And that for me, just looking at that was like, how good are FootJoy of a brand to make a shoe that came out in 2011 and it still be like, if the Premier Series wasn't coming out this year, the Icon for me would still be the best shoe. Because
I remember even from when I first started playing golf, it was all about everyone wanted a pair of FootJoy Classics. That was it back then, wasn't it? The Classics, and then it moved on, and now the Premier Series. I think that's going to be. I think for me, the thing with the icons and things, as much as I love the look of them, you felt like you had to wear them in a little bit, didn't you? You couldn't really play a tournament straight out of the box wearing them because you'd potentially end up with blisters.
Well,
whereas these new ones,
you say that, but I've got to a stage where I've had so many pairs of them now, and my feet are like,
you've moulded to them,
no problem, we'll handle them. Yeah, it's no problem.
I did have a pair they were really comfy, to be fair. Yeah, they were. But these new ones sound like they're going to have the out of the box comfort that I feel like they sort of maybe missed in the past, and that's going to make it that's why everyone's wearing it on tour, I guess. It's the complete shoe, maybe. Yeah,
I think the fact that they've done a soft, a spikeless version of the shoe as well, I think is awesome. They definitely, having them in hand, you look at them and you go, the details are incredible. And the video that I did on them for the channel, I was kind of like, I edited it, I uploaded it, and I was like, why have I not made a bigger deal of the price? So when I first, FootJoy were very, very kind to send me a pair a little while back.
Yeah.
And,
you put a little teaser video, and I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got them in hand, and I'm looking at them going, these things are incredible, and the details and the material and everything is insane. And then they said, they're going to be like 159 or 169. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I sort of wouldn't have been surprised if they would double that. I was thinking they're going to be expensive. That up in nearly probably 300 odds, but I think that price is really reasonable for what they are.
So I took them into the shop at the golf club and showed guys that I work with. Obviously, bit of a flex. I was like, you've not seen these before, have you? I said, go on, guess the price. And my colleague John was like, he was like sort of touching the inside of the heel area. It's like, this feels quite nice. He was like, it's got to be 250.
Yeah,
maybe. I said, well, I'm probably closer to like 159, 169. He's like, no, he couldn't believe it. It's incredible. I think they're going to be such an incredible shoe. So when do you know if yours are going to come in the box that you're waiting to receive?
I don't think they're coming yet. I think there's some. I don't know what's happening with stock and things on the shoes, because I think they're just obviously so popular, aren't they? But I know I've got a couple of pairs of the Pro SLs. I've got the Hyperflex ones coming, the new ones.
Okay. So, what colourway have you got coming in those?
I couldn't decide between. I decided I wanted the laced one, and I couldn't decide between the blue and the grey. And I think I did 2 polls on Instagram, and I just couldn't decide. So I went with the grey in the end. Just I felt like it went with more. And
I think FootJoy are a fantastic brand to, like you said a second ago, to be associated with. It's all great gear. It's all in the same place. We've got look at shoes from another brand or anything like that.
Exactly.
I mean, when it comes to golf shoes for golfers, I mean, you're hard pushed to find a better brand without a shadow of a doubt. So another question that I have, your Instagram. So obviously you got a vast following on Instagram. You look like you've got some great followers, some dedicated followers. When did you start, and sort of why did you start?
I remember it was about 3 years ago, I think. And just off of talking, so there was a guy in America. He had 50-odd thousand followers, and he started. I can't remember if I started talking to him or he started talking to me. And I just said, how have you got to that stage, and what have you done, and whatever. And he sort of taught me a few things about how like the algorithm works and how to get followers and what to do and whatever. And then ever since, it's been like a bit of an addiction, really. It's whether it's a healthy addiction, I don't know. I'm on my phone 24/7, and but no, it's opened up some doors, and it's been really good for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people in the Instagram golf space, I think everyone's been great, and opportunities. I mean, the FootJoy thing is a fantastic example of that. Isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an incredible space to be involved in. A lot of being able to interact with people, get to know people, that sort of stuff. When all this is said and done, this virus stuff that we're in at the moment, it's one of those things that I think a lot of people are going to be getting together from the space to collaborate. I think with some projects and stuff in the future. I'd certainly love to have a game.
Be a good summer this year. I think with everyone's missed out, haven't they, through the winter, and even most of last summer wasn't completely normal. So I think this year everyone's raring to go, and there could be some good things.
So one thing I wanted to ask about, that I have to be transparent with everyone watching. I like to send the people who I'm going to have a chat with a few sort of what we're going to likely talk about. But one thing I forgot to sort of say and to put on that was during lockdown, I think it was the first lockdown, you kind of became the putt mat king, right?
Yeah.
So some of the trick shots and stuff that you had on there, talk to me about those. How long did that take to set them up, and then to film the completed sort of holding the putt, everything? I'm assuming it wasn't one take.
No. So the first one I did like the 4 different levels. I think it was 4 or 5 different levels.
Yeah.
And then where I did like bumps and I did breaks from left to right, and whatever. And I remember the one I put 2 objects underneath the mat that made it break like a double breaker. And I actually did that on my 3rd go. Genuinely, it sort of surprised me. I think, that was easy. But then I did another one. I did one where I was putting outside just along the patio, and it was bobbling all over the place. Just put the putt out thing at the end of the patio, and that must have taken me a week. Just sort of, we'd all finish our dinner, and I'd go, I'm just going to go and have a couple more goes. 2 hours later, I'd still be there thinking I really should be helping with the kids here, but I'm going to do it in a minute. It's got to happen in a minute. And then the moment it happens, it's like, it catches you by surprise. You don't know how to react to anything. So
I suppose it's all those hours of trying, and then when it eventually happens, it's either in like jubilation or, thank God that's done.
Yeah. Sometimes you start something and you think, this isn't going to. And there was one like me trying to do a lob shot, and they kept goading me on as well. Putt out kept messaging me saying, "Have you done it yet?" I still haven't seen it, and I still haven't done it. I'd started it last lockdown and couldn't do it, and then I tried it again the beginning of this lockdown, and I got close a couple of times, but then you don't get close half the time, so you get so annoyed that you give up.
Did Putt Out get in touch and make you a full-on brand ambassador yet?
Not quite, but no, they've given me some products and whatever, and they've been really supportive. So
that's great. So you said you sort of went through your schedule. You've got a bit of a schedule lined up for this year. How easy was that to do, based on, I suppose, relative uncertainty still of events and how they're going to go ahead, etc., etc.?
I think it's difficult. You just got to, what's given to us, we've got to then plan around that and just be open to the fact that could change, I guess. And I mean, I'm only going to play the PGAs, the regional stuff, I guess, so the Order of Merit things and a few pro-ams. And then I might play some Jamaica or some one-day stuff like Clutch or TP Tour. And then hopefully European Tour School goes ahead at the end of the year, and I can look at doing that and see where that goes, really.
Absolutely. What do you have a sponsor helping you out?
No, I've had a guy who's paid for the last 2 times I've been to tour school, which is obviously not cheap. So that's been really helpful. So I keep in contact with him, and I help him with his game a little bit, but I haven't got an official sponsor as such that would help with it otherwise.
Yeah, is that something that you're looking to maybe Instagram towards? Is that something that you would look to try and, it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough one. I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. Is looking for a sponsor through Instagram something that comes to your mind?
Yeah, well, I just signed I signed the other day with a management company, which we announced today on Instagram. And they've got some really exciting things planned. So we've had a few phone calls, and there's a couple of companies that sound like they're really interested to do some things, and that could lead to some bigger things. So the ball's started rolling. So it's exciting, really.
Oh, brilliant! That sounds really, really good. It's, I personally, well, some might say that I didn't have the game for it, but I'm definitely better off on the lesson tier. I mean, the idea of playing golf for a living and sort of having to pay bills and stuff based on my scores fills me with absolute dread.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah,
it's one of those things. All props to the guys who go out there and do it, because I think it's I haven't got the mental capacity for it. I'd be shot on the first tee if my score actually mattered. It's quite nice when you give up your. It's quite nice when you turn pro and you give up your handicap and you haven't got to worry about that 0.1 anymore. And I'm very much comfortable with the lesson tees. Fine for me.
Well, when I was caddying, so I remember I can't remember which tournament it was now, and Ben missed the putt on the last green. It was about a 4-foot putt, and I was sitting in the car afterwards, and I'd worked out how much that putt had cost him. And he said that is the worst thing any pro golfer can do. Is when you start working out what something's cost you, you send yourself going stir crazy thinking what things have cost you. So he said that he didn't want to know, and that was the end of that one. It was, but there I was working out thinking that putt's cost us, cost a few grand. That has, and
I remember one of the very few PGA events that I ever did earn money in. I bogeyed my last hole to fall from, I think it was either solo second to like a big 7-way tie or it was about 5th on my own down to then the top. I can't remember quite what it was, but I remember that bogey and walking off going, still looked at my bank account afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, I've had a nice week there. It was one of the Order of Merit events on the East region. And I did nicely, played very nicely, bogeyed the last hole and still took home, for me, my first ever PGA chat. I think it was 288 quid, I think it was, from memory. I don't think I've won more since. So, but I remember thinking to myself, that's a great week. And then you do go into it and you go, oh, actually, if I hadn't bogeyed the last hole there or missed that putt or whatever it might have been, I could have had closer to 500 quid or something like that. But like you say,
like Jamaica events, you can have a putt on the last green. If you've had a reasonable week, you can have a putt on the last green that's worth 400 or 500 quid, if not more. Whereas the guys on telly, they're a bit better off and they don't have to worry about money so much, most of them. But they've got putts that are worth 50, 100 grand or whatever. It's crazy, isn't it? Really, when you think about it.
I think there was one I was watching last week that Horschel or someone had a putt on the last green or something that's worth like $200,000 or something like that. Like solo second to then like a 5-way tie or 4-way tie or whatever it was.
Crazy.
That's thoughts that I definitely don't need to be having.
No.
That's for sure. You do a lot of practice in your garden.
Yeah.
Talk to me about you've made a few few swing changes, I think, of late, haven't you? Talk to me a little bit about those.
So from the first lockdown last year, just through Ben again, he'd started working with a guy, so Tom Bailey, who had no interest in actually getting into coaching. Okay. For his own game, he went over to go and see George Gankis in America, learned a lot off of him, come back and then started helping Ben with some things. And then all of a sudden he started helping me, and he's now got a strong database of clients that he's teaching, and he seems to have really, ballooned out of nowhere. And without that being his goal to be a coach, he still wants to be a player. But so he did a lot of work with me, and we've completely changed things really. So it'd be nice to see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. What have been some of the biggest things, some of the things that you've sort of struggled with the most from changing? Because I mean, for me, lefty golf swings, I think for everyone, lefty golf swings always look far better than right-handed.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's strange, isn't it?
It's one of those things. But obviously, I used to think you swung it great from before.
Yeah.
What have been some of the toughest things to sort of change from then to now?
The first thing he got me to change was my setup, and it just felt completely alien. I felt like I was standing on top of the ball. I felt so close to it. And that's where, technology is such a good thing. You can feel awkward, but then you can video it and look at it and you think, Christ, that looks completely right. So I think, yes, changing my setup was a big thing, and that changed. So I used to early extend, and I was very armsy and used to flip the club a lot. Mm-hmm. Just by changing my setup, that changed. I didn't back away from the ball. I didn't early extend straight away, just doing things like that. And then other things, so just getting my body to work better, hitting more of my body, less arm work, and on paper it looks better. So yeah, it'd be nice to see what it does for the scores, really. So that's the main thing, isn't it? You can play golf swing all year if you want to, but you've got to go out there and shoot a score, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what's got to be tricky about obviously hitting it into a net. Is obviously
with foam balls as well.
Yeah, foam balls into a net. Have you broken anything?
No, I did it. I've just a couple of days ago. I've just put my third ball over the fence though into the neighbour's garden. So.
I thought the years of going around to knock on the neighbours and get your ball back. I thought that was years ago.
I do it. So the other day, the second time I've done it in a few weeks, and I just walk straight indoors, and then the girlfriend looks at me. She goes, "What's the matter?" And I thought, "I've just hit a ball over the fence." So I come in here and hide for a little bit, just in case they're looking out the window, thinking, "What the hell is that doing in our garden?"
Have you? Do you get? So, for me, this lockdown, the first lockdown, if I'm not playing golf regularly, my golf club. I think my golf clubs are in the garage. I think.
They are, yeah.
I don't know, but I'm one of these guys that if I'm not playing, then I don't tend to do any practice in the garden. I don't get the club out and swing it or anything. My golf club have been doing, us pros at the club have been doing tips for the members. So I've had a 7-iron by the back door just in case I need to nip out and film like a quick tip, come back inside, that sort of stuff. But for me, practice at home has never been something that I've been overly interested in. So I don't have a net or anything like that. How many sort of hours and stuff do you sort of put into that practice when you're at home? And do the neighbours, should preface this first, have you used proper golf balls or have you always used...
I've always used foam balls, yeah.
Always used foam.
Yeah.
So I've got a feeling like so many pros that you see and amateurs and all golfers at home hitting balls into a net, I'm like, that must drive neighbours round the bend, though. Like the sound of a full-on golf shot every now and again.
Yeah, so I think the foam ones probably aren't even much quieter than the real ones. They make quite a thud. It's just a case of, I just don't trust the net that it could go through the back of the net or whatever, or if I miss-hit one and before I know it, I've smashed the window. But I'd probably I'm not someone, because we're having young kids at home as well, it's hard for me to go out there and spend like a solid hour of just doing it, of just practicing. So I'll go out there and I'll probably do like 10, 15 minutes, then I come in and do something else. I might use the gym and then go out and do a little bit more. So yeah, it's just little and often really, just to try and keep myself moving. And
yeah, because it's got to be really tough, because obviously going through a bit of a swing change and obviously then having your commitments at home and that sort of stuff and dipping in, dipping out and then not seeing the ball fly, it's got to be a little tricky.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can obviously get an idea from your club path and whatever, and you can get a feel of what feels right and what doesn't. But yeah, without a real golf ball and without seeing a ball fly, it's tricky. Yeah.
So whereabouts do you play your golf? Are you sort of attached somewhere, or do you still sort of pay membership, or?
I've been attached to. Well, I started playing golf at Sebblescombe Golf Club, so down in Hastings on the south coast of England.
Yeah.
And I've been there ever since the age of 13. So, yes, 16, 17 years. And they look after me well. They've just had some new owners come in last year who have they're investing an absolute fortune into the golf club and completely turning it around into something really quite special, actually, to be quite proud to be attached to. And yeah, they look after me, and we've got a few pros there. So we've got some good players out of the club, which is, I think, a great thing to have.
So you said that you've just started your PGA. When did you start your PGA?
So October last year. So yeah, my first year.
So yeah, first year. is first year done and dusted now? Have you got?
So I've got the last assignment's due the end of this month, so I've just got to finish that off, and then all the exams have been done from home. There's no residential, so this year's a bit of a. I think last year was strange for people doing it as well. I don't think they had exams last year, so it was just done for the assignments, I think. So I guess they've had a bit of a result, I think. I'd quite like that, but
yeah, I mean, residentials, man, they were just. I remember a few PGA friends of mine when I just turned pro, and they were like, "Oh, you've got your residential. Oh, it's so boring." It's like, but my residentials were literally some of the best weeks of my life.
That's what I quite missed. I was looking forward to it, to be honest. I heard the food was good. I'm quite a foodie person, so I was looking forward to that to start off with.
The worst thing in the world is I remember the first year, and it was like everything's like buffet.
Oh, is it okay?
You go. So I think we had my first year was before the Belfry was renovated.
Oh, okay.
And so my year 2 and 3, I think the Belfry had been renovated then, but still, regardless of renovation, it's like full on buffet breakfast. And it was literally every single morning you could have full. I mean, my trousers fit tighter at the end of the week. It's eggs, bacon, beans, sausage, like literally tomatoes. All works. Incredible, yeah. The food is insane, but the week is incredible. Like, I'm hoping for your sake that next year it gets back to the point where you can have a residential and experience.
I mean, we're lucky. We've got a group chat. So I've got some friends. So there's actually at Sebblescombe, there's 4 guys doing their first year, the PGA.
Oh, wow.
So that's helpful. We're all in different group chats in the first year for the PGA thing. So they set up a WhatsApp group for us all. And the group I'm in seems like one of the best ones. They're all really helpful. You know, we've actually been told off a couple of times because we just go off topic. And, you know, people probably don't look at their phone, and then they look at their phone an hour later and there's 300 messages and it's a load of waffle. There's nothing to do with golf. But it's brilliant. It's good. And I think the mentors let that slide a little bit because there has been, you know, it's been such a strange time, isn't it? With no residential thing. It's nice to sort of get to know each other, and they've been really helpful. So
they've put you as part of the PGA. They've put you into WhatsApp groups, have they?
Yeah. So we have a mentor, and then there's a WhatsApp group. I don't know how many there are. Maybe 40 or 50 people in the WhatsApp group.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. We didn't have anything like that.
Oh, really?
No, when I did it, no.
I found it really, like, for referencing and things, the Harvard reference stuff. I mean, I haven't written an assignment since I was at college. So when I had the first one come through, I was a bit like, well, I don't even know where to start here. But now, once you've done the first few and you get into the swing of it, but yeah, the other guys are really helpful. We've got a couple of clever guys in the group that are more than willing to share ideas and things. So
that's handy. That's mine was one of those when they turn around and go, hit 40% is a pass. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
But I do not miss the 11:59 uploading an assignment, or 10:59 whenever it is trying to get.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys in the group that have left the first 3 assignments the last day, so it's quite entertaining for us. So we'll message, how are you getting on? And I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I feel like nowadays I've been qualified for 4 years. 5
okay,
years. Yeah. I think I can't quite remember, but it's one of those ones. I feel like I'm a little bit older now, and I feel like if I was to have an assignment now, I wouldn't leave it till like the very last minute. But I still probably would. How have you found the first year in general? What sort of the subjects and stuff that you quite liked?
I've actually found it quite interesting. It's a lot about junior stuff, so it's a lot about junior development and things. I guess that's what first years are designed to. You can then help coach with juniors and things.
Yeah.
And then the assignment I'm doing at the moment is on club building. But they're okay, I guess. They're interesting enough. There's enough to learn. It's that side of the stuff. I've always just played. I've never looked into coaching as such, and I've never known much about club building. I vaguely know how to put a grip on, and that's about it. So,
I found the coaching stuff when I first started really interesting, like ball flights and impact factors and characteristics, all that sort of stuff is. But I still reference that today in bulk of my lessons that I do. I still go back to all of that and really use that quite a lot, because I think there's loads of different coaching methods and people have a lot of ideas and that sort of thing, but fundamentals, bringing it back to what does your ball do and what do you want it to do, I think is still really important when teaching, and that's something that I really found very interesting. I felt like after my first year, I felt like I really did learn a lot more about, I used to help people a little bit with their swings before. I was a vaguely decent amateur golfer, and I have an idea on what people needed to do. But you then go into your PGA, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like I really actually didn't really know a great deal. I could make someone swing it and it looked nice, but have not really
didn't know if it was functional or not.
Not really a lot of purpose behind it.
I think it's easy now with launch monitors, TrackMan, and quads and whatever that you can. A lot of coaches will get a bit lazy with it, but I think it's you don't necessarily need one to be a good coach, and the ball flight tells you everything you need to know. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things with the PGA. With the PGA club building exam, like obviously if you got to do one, the club building exam.
Is that would that be in first year or not? I don't know what else.
So first year for me, from when I did it, first year was building a club from components. And you go at Ping House. You probably won't have to do it with the virus and all that sort of stuff.
Do that, no.
But I remember going in and you get all of the pieces out on the desk, and then you get like a spec sheet. And it was like, right, you got to build this 7-iron to such and such length, 2 degrees strong or whatever, and flat, upright, whatever. And I was so bad at club building. To this day, I failed my graphite shaft extraction, which I think is year 2. At your residential, I think you had to do that. I definitely failed that on the first attempt. So I still, my colleagues now, we get like a repair come into the shop, and I'm like, yeah, you guys, I'm going to end up like frying that shaft if it comes anywhere near me with a heat gun.
I think it depends what you're interested in as well, doesn't it? There's so many different routes you can go down through doing the PJ, whether it be a coach, club builder, whatever it is. And I think you've got to be interested in that side of it for you to do well at it. I mean, if you go into it with no intention of wanting to be a club builder or custom fitter, then I think you're going to struggle with it more than someone that obviously wants to go down that route. So
absolutely. I remember, so I started off the exam with everything in front of me, and I was doing a fairly decent job, I think, of getting it to the point where it was near enough ready. And the last bit was bending it to your specific loft and lie using the loft and lie machine. And I was like pushed for time right at the end. It was coming down to like the last couple of minutes. And I had to put the brass cover over the top so the loft and lie handle thing didn't make loads of marks on the hosel of the club.
Yeah.
And I remember I sliced my finger open on the on the brass and bleeding like all over the loft and lie machine. I didn't stop or anything like that. I was like, I've got to keep going with this. And there's like dots of blood all over the line where I'm trying to measure the loft and measure the line. Absolute nightmare. I think I passed.
I hope so after that, yeah.
I'm not sure.
You persist through all that and then it fails you.
It was like one of the worst kind of paper cut style cuts I'd ever had. It was like proper like sharp brass. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. But yeah, man, it was the PGA is fantastic. It was like some of the greatest I wouldn't say greatest years of my life, but some very cool years. You meet some fantastic people, and that WhatsApp thing sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is all the people I've spoken to that have done the PJ, none of them have said, I wish I hadn't bothered. I think that's the main thing, is whether if I'm going to use it in the future or not, it's there. I wish I'd done it when I first turned pro and it would have been done and out of the way now, but I've started now, so it's better late than never, I guess, and get it done. And
yeah, absolutely. It's one of those, it's the thing, when you finish, as you said, it opens a lot of doors to, if you want to specialise in one thing or another. I mean, hopefully, for your sake, you do it and you haven't got to ever really rely on it because you play golf for a living. And hopefully that's the outcome that you have. But if that doesn't work, it does give you the options of, some other ways that you can forage apart.
To go into teaching or whatever, it's, the options there then, and it's a bit more open and easier to get into if you've got the PGA status, I guess. So
yeah, absolutely, and especially I think it travels quite nicely as well from country to country. I think our PGA is regarded quite highly.
Yes, it is.
In sort of the world, so that definitely helps. I appreciate I'm taking you for a little while here on this.
No, that's fine. I'm not pushed for time or anything. So
let me just close it out with final question for you, goals wise and that sort of thing. Do you set goals for a season? Do you have goals for your Instagram of sort of how many likes or followers or that sort of stuff that you want to achieve by certain times, or does that sort of apply for you? And then sort of goals professionally as well, playing for this year.
So I actually had this conversation the other night, and it, I think it came as a surprise to some people, because I have set goals in the past, but I feel like if you set a goal, I feel like if you don't reach that goal, does it matter? And if you do reach it, what do you do? Do you jump around and sing it? So since then I've never really set goals as such. And I think, playing tournaments, and you just want to do the best you can every round. And I think it's as simple as that. And I think as an amateur, it was good with having a handicap. That was a simple way of, I guess, tracking your progress as you went from maybe like a 20 handicapper trying to get all the way down to scratch and plus. It was a great thing to have in place. But I think as a pro, you can look at stats and things, but I'm not someone that really keeps stats. And whether that will change or not, I don't know. I'm always open to new ideas, and I'm not saying that, some people goals and stats whatever work great for, but there's lots of good players as well that I think it doesn't work for. So it's finding what works for you, isn't it? I guess it's.
Yeah, absolutely. And Instagram wise, do you have any sort of targets for that? Do you look at your follow account and go, I'd like that to be more, or do you just kind of let it happen?
Just let it happen, I guess. Really, I'm always interested. You've obviously got like insights and things on Instagram, so you can look how many people it's reached and things, and that sort of stuff can be interesting. But yeah, I'm not someone that really overthinks it as such, I guess.
If we had someone watching now who was eager to boost their followers and try for more engagements on Instagram, what advice would you give to them?
I think the first thing is, so there's a lot of I play a lot with like the juniors, or when they're not juniors anymore, at the club I'm based at, and I think a few of them have tried to really get into it to try and get followers and build themselves up, and I think they do it for like a couple of weeks and then it wears off because maybe they haven't had the results they wanted them a couple of weeks. I think that the first thing is you've just got to be persistent and consistent. Just keep doing it. And okay, some of it, the hashtags and things like that might come across cringy and whatever, but they do work if you stick with it. And then also, so I try to reply to every message that I get. So I think just keeping in contact and replying to everyone, and it makes it more of a personal experience, I guess, for people, instead of, if you message someone if you messaged Ian Poulter, for example, okay, he's a bit different to I am. He's got a few more followers and a little bit more famous. But the chances are, you'd never get a reply because you can't keep on top of it. And, whether it will get to the point where I can't keep on top of the replies, I don't know. But I hope it, I'd like to think that you can give everyone, they've given their time to message you. So it's only nice that you can speak to them back, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree. I try and do the same with my YouTube channel in particular. Obviously, I try and reply to direct messages on here. Well, I say I try. I do reply to direct messages on here. Yeah. If anyone was to have ever messaged me and I haven't responded, then I very much apologise. I do try and at least have a conversation with everyone, because, as you say, people are giving up their time to either like the photos or leave a comment on any posts, that sort of stuff. And for me, YouTube more so for me is because that person could have given up 6 minutes of their day.
That's very true. Yeah, YouTube
watching my content, and I'm like, that's really cool. The least I can do is if they comment or ask me a question or anything. The least I can do is reply. I think that's pretty spot on. Do you have any sort of algorithm hacks? Do you look at algorithm stuff? Do you look at things that people are doing well and I don't want to say try and copy, but adapt things for yourself? Do you look into that sort of stuff?
I think the algorithm seems to change so much. So I'm in a group on Instagram. There's only 10 guys in it, and we're always talking about that sort of thing. And it's really it just changes. It seems to change week by week. So some weeks it's hard to tell what's going to make a good post and what isn't. I was in a webinar. It was about a couple of months ago now with Rick Shields. And he was talking about, so a good bit of advice he gave was, when you create posts, don't just make them for golfers, make them, so that, the golfer's wife would be interested as well. Make it so it's got some comedy value, or not just suited for golfers. That is, so you've got a wider audience, I guess.
Yeah, I did a picture not that long ago of me wearing one of the Air Max 97 shoes with another one of the shoes next to it.
Yeah.
Both from the Rather Be Lucky Than Good, the Nike one that they did for the Masters. And I thought it was a cool looking picture. I was pretty happy with it. And it did like 450 odd likes, which for me, if my images get to 120, 150 sort of likes, I'm like, oh, okay, that's done quite a nice job, that post. I don't look too much into the likes and stuff. I'm still very much, I like to post what I want to post.
Yeah, that's a good way to be, yeah.
And, if people don't like it, cool, that's fine. If they do, then great. But I remember like that, and I think it's because those shoes are so like trainer specific. People watching from the US, sneaker sort of, I think it almost went across into that platform as well. And then it then starts to appear for more people. Yeah,
I think it's the same as like Reels. They introduced Reels and I didn't have a clue what it was. I didn't.
No, I've still not got
a of Ian Poulter hitting a shot in a tournament in Scotland where he didn't get out of the bunker. I think it got like nearly 3,000 likes quite quickly, and it was a bit like, well, where's that come from? I don't know. It's so difficult to. I think it just changes all the time, the algorithm, and you've just got to do what you do. And if it's popular, it's popular. If it's not, then it's not worth worrying about. And
get
worked up over.
Yeah, absolutely. I think staying consistent to yourself, and I hate the term staying true to yourself, but I feel like this platform is still do what you want to do and be consistent with it and enjoy it, and that will hopefully then transfer into your content. Because if you love what you're doing, then there's a good chance that that's going to resonate with with people.
Yeah, that's very true.
But dude, I really appreciate you coming on.
No, thanks for asking. No, it's been good.
It's been great. It's been about 3 weeks since I've done one of these. I've been landscape gardening a little bit. So lockdown has meant that I've got to try and earn some money from somewhere. So
in between me messaging, asking you for fashion advice and whatever, what colour goes with what, and
that's normally how it works. But nowadays I'm like, what paving slab looks best, or that sort of stuff. So I've had a right injury as well. I've got some swollen forearm from something or other. It's a bit of a nightmare. But yeah. So I wanted to really thank you for coming on and giving up your time this evening. It's very, very much appreciated. I'm going to be putting this up on YouTube as well, so I'll give it about a week. I'll put it on my Instagram feed, and then it'll be up for about a week. Then it'll go across into the sort of the live section, if you like, and then I'll put this up onto YouTube as well. So that'll be up there for all of eternity unless YouTube want to copyright it for whatever reason. It'll be up there for all of eternity. I've got to do it very quickly. These things.
Oh yeah,
still watching.
Cool.
They're coming out on Thursday, 7 p.m. thegolffashionguy.com. Hold on, I've got the other ones here as well. I actually don't have these next to me for this purpose. Like, next to me, and I was like, I've got to get them out. So these ones as well. So
I like them. Yeah, they're smart.
If you're watching anyone and you want to pick one of these up, these are $24.95 plus postage. The others are $19.95 plus postage. Golffashionguy.com on Thursday. This coming Thursday. Yeah. So I'm praying they sell. I'm very much praying they sell. So it's got a
cool. So I don't see why not.
Journey to Scratch Golf, cheeky plug, shameless. I apologise.
He's a nightmare, he is.
So, Michael, thank you very much, my friend. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully,
that's great.
We can have a game this summer.
Definitely.
Everything that you said about Settleston, I'd love to come down and
be more than welcome to.
Definitely. Just let me know when you're free, and we'll make it happen. Thank you to each and everyone who has tuned in this evening. McCade Golf, they're dope. I appreciate that, my friend. I really do. But yeah, everyone who's tuned in this evening, thank you very much for tuning in, listening to us, having a good chat. It's been great to chat. Not obviously all on golf fashion, but it's been great to hear your side of things from a playing perspective and what you've got planned and caddying, and then obviously the FootJoy stuff as well has been really interesting. So yeah, but thank you very much.
No, that's wicked. Thanks very much. Nice to speak to you.
You too. Take care, man.
Good evening.
I'll see you soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye.